Hello, we are group S4-21. My name is Rachita Shrestha and my group members are Ashish Tandukar, Krishna Timal Sinha, Sapna Shrestha and Pramod Sharma. Today we are going to give presentation on business and corporation law. Let's first talk about the business law related to Sobergers. Soberger is operating in Australia and New Zealand. Due to poor sales, it came with an idea of running a competition. It includes token attached in each hamburger. 150 tokens is equals to 1 golden ticket and a lucky winner will get a car. Mickey bought 50 burgers and collected a golden ticket. He made sure to redeem golden ticket before he was admitted to the hospital. Brett collected 100 wrappers with the token from the rubbish bin, which was equals to 2 golden tickets, and he won 2 cars. Brett read the notice that due to printing errors, faulty tickets are void. Mickey got discharged and went to claim the car. Found many angry customers gathered to claim car with winning tickets. The rules for the business law are 2 or more people should be involved, should be offered acceptance and compensation. Terms used should be clear and certain. Both parties needs to be capable of involving in a contract, genuine consent between parties, and if objectives are illegal or will harm the public, it will be demolished by the law. For further presentation, I would like to invite Ashish Tandukar.
Thank you, Rachita. Now continuing the slides. Customer who came with golden ticket has been put down apparently. The offer was a smart idea to increase the sales as the Soberger did not have the sales properly. So in case of Soberger and Mickey, and in case of Soberger and Brett, actually there was no any valid contract between the parties. So Mickey and Brett can claim that there has been a breach of contract and also cannot case the file against the restaurant. Now to conclude, since there is no any valid contract between the parties, so restaurant is not liable for the compensation. Restaurant has not breached the contract as per the contract law and will not be liable for the announcement that it has made. Now for the further slides, I would like to call Sapna Shrestha.
Now I would like to move to the second part of the presentation, which is the case study of Sparkling Private Limited. In this presentation, I would like to talk about Sparkling Private Limited, which is the clothes store running in Tasmania. The clothes store hired Sarah as a managing director in the year 2007. She had a contract of 2 years and she had a restriction on transaction above 20,000. In 2010, she transacted with the bank to secure a loan for a company of $30,000 and the company stopped the payment on the loan. Talking about the rule, when the representative of a company transacts with third party, there will be two types of authority will be exercised, that is original authority and apparent authority. Apparent authority can be inferred with regard to the provision of Section 129 of the Act, stating that such authority can be inferred by third party through reasonable means. Similarly, according to the Section 128 subsection 3, even if a person is transacting on the behalf of a company and acting fraudulently, the Act would be binding on the company itself unless the third party does not have sufficient reason to believe that the authority has not been conferred on that person. And in case of third party has the reason to believe that the transaction is not the regular course of business or the person transacting on the behalf of the company has not authority, then the third party would be put onto the inquiry and transaction would not be binding on the company. And this is the end of my presentation and the remaining part will be continued by Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Sapna. So I'll be talking about the application of corporation law to this case. Following the provision 128 subsection 3 and 129 Corporation Act 2001, it would be evident that the bank was transacting with Sarah, who acted as a managing director for the company and thus has sufficient reason to infer apparent authority even if she acts fraudulently. The rule laid down in Morris versus Kansan Act in favor of the presumption that all internal agreements are complied with, thus company would be liable. In addition, following the judgment in Northside Development Private Limited versus Registrar General, it becomes evident that the bank would not have reason to believe that it was not in the ordinary course of business of clothing company, and thus they would be put to inquiry and the contract should not be binding on the company. Now I would like to call upon Pramod Sharma to continue the case.
Thank you, Krishna. Now I would like to explain the remaining part of the case. I'll be explaining the application and conclusion for the two cases. First one is what will be the outcome of the case if the loan was for refurbishment of remaining two clothing stores of Sparkling Company. And the second one is what will be the case if the bank loan officer knew about the Sarah has fallen out of the favor of the board and was negotiating a new job. So let's start with the first case. What will be the outcome if the loan was for refurbishment of two clothing stores? So let's start with the application. According to the provision of section 128 and 129 of the Corporation Act 2001, Sarah was acting as a managing director while dealing with the bank. Although the act of Sarah was fraudulent, the company will be liable for all the transactions related to the bank because Sarah was acting in the favor of company while dealing with the bank. So the conclusion of this case will be the company will be held liable to pay all the principal and interest because while dealing with the bank, while making contract with the bank, Sarah was dealing on the favor of the company because she was acting as a managing director of the company. So let's move to the second part. So second part is what will be the case if the bank loan officer knew that the Sarah has fallen out of the favor and negotiating a new job. So let's start with the application. According to the Leonard's Carrying Company Limited and Asiatic Petroleum Company Limited 1915, since the bank is not a parent company of Sarah, it doesn't matter whether the officer is known about the contract between Sarah and the company. So the bank doesn't need to know any formal agreement between Sarah and the company because Sarah was acting on the behalf of the company while dealing with the bank. So the conclusion of this case will be the Sparkling Company needs to make payment, although bank officer knew the contract between the Sarah and the company. Thank you so much.